Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. And we're coming to you from the Grand Hotel. And we're here because the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce always has their policy conference here. And somebody right in the middle of policy, right? Stephanie Beckhorn. It's good to have you here. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for the beautiful weather that you ordered up. It couldn't be better.
Yeah. We're thinking of moving on the porch, but we wanted to
That's
test
right.
run it all,
That's
you know?
right.
Yeah. Okay, so, when you're up here, you're seeing a lot of people that it takes years to get together with, your issues. SNAP, I know, is one of them. Medicaid is another.
To your first comment, this is great. We can very quickly get huddle with a lot of people, talk about policy, talk about regulations, talk about things that are coming down the pipe or are already here. And Medicaid and SNAP work requirements are definitely one of them. That is really important to all of us, and I really mean all of us,
Yeah.
because it will have an impact to us as individuals, to employers, and to the broader community. So, what is happening right now, there are hundreds of thousands of Michiganders that are or will be subject to work requirements in order to maintain their food benefits or their health care benefits. And one might say, well, Stephanie, you said workforce. Why are you talking about that? We truly believe that healthcare and food assistance directly relate to workforce.
Yeah.
You need to not worry where your next meal is going to come from. You need to not worry how you take care of your health or your loved one putting off their health.
Yeah.
That impacts showing up for work and being productive when you're at work.
You see it with kids who come to school undernourished. They don't perform.
Yep, they don't perform, and we want to make sure that, first of all, individuals that are subject to work requirements, we want them to know that they exist and how they can meet those work requirements twofold. One, to keep their benefits, keep them fed, keep them healthy, but then two, their connection and how we're going to help them meet work requirements. One of the ways is through our local Michigan Works agencies,
Right.
because the long-term goal is to help remove barriers, get access to training, and get a full-time job where the employer is providing health benefits. And then there is no longer the dependency
Right.
on the programs. Again, so now the worker is stable hours, health benefits, they can support themselves, they invest in the community, and the worker has someone that shows up every day, productive and ready to work.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting because we do this Future Business Index every 6 months, right? And Sinair Corporation underwrites it. And what we've been finding is for 4.5 years, the biggest stumbling block for business is talent. We can't get it, we can't retain it, right?
Right.
Now, business is basically saying because of uncertainty, because of tariffs, we're not hiring, but we're still desperate for talent.
Right.
So that's why this stuff is so
It,
important.
it is, and for employers and again the broader community to say, well, I'm not sure how it impacts me. If you just think about putting off healthcare until it's critical, where do you go? The emergency room. If you lack healthcare, you wait till the last minute and you show up there. What if I walk in there with myself or my child, and you walk in and you see there's dozens and dozens of people? So we've talked to healthcare and in hospitals who say this is important to us on two fronts: for our workforce, exactly like you said, but then also we want to make sure that we have the capacity to support individuals and that people aren't waiting until it's so late in the process that there's so much more work that has to be done to get that person healthy, productive, and back into the workforce.
It's kind of interesting because we work much more closely than people realize. And having been on the Capillary Michigan Works Board for 25 years
Yes.
and now on the state board, the association board, it is a problem. And other things that come in to this, and you don't think about it, but childcare, transportation,
Yep, absolutely.
those things.
All of those things, and that's why we have people that are working but not working as much
Mhm.
because of barrier like that. Well, I would pick up multiple hours and shifts, but my childcare is only a family member who can only do it at this point, or when my spouse gets home or my partner, and it's only at this point. By removing the barriers of childcare and transportation, let people show up for work and work those 40 hours, help them get the benefits. And again, this goes right back to the benefit to the employer and the broader community. This impacts all of us and the communities we live in.
Well, and this is a little crazy, but it's another factor in there too, is the housing situation.
Yep, affordable housing, housing that is available is definitely a topic of ours. That's, I think, the structure of Governor Whitmer in the Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity where I'm at. We include MSHDA, we include the land bank, and we're all working together to say, right, businesses want to locate where there's talent. Talent needs affordable housing to be there. And we see this in northern Michigan, right, where there's a lot of seasonal work and a lot of individuals who come up here for the summer, making sure that a place like the Grand Hotel works and that there's workers here and all of the beautiful communities around here. It is another piece of the puzzle, affordable housing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So the budget, the upcoming budget, you've seen it. How are you fixed there?
So going back to the work requirements, SNAP and Medicaid, the governor, we included $30 million to help support this work, again, to support our workers, our employers, and our community. The House and the Senate do both include it, about half of what the governor's budget, but we're in that beautiful time of negotiations, right, and having the conversations, and that's why this conversation is so important to say this is really, it's a return on investment. Individuals with the support and with these funds will get full-time employment. That means they're not using the public benefits. That saves us all money.
It enriches the community. It's a long-run game, which is important. Stephanie Beckhorn with Leo, right? You're still in that department.
Absolutely.
You have moved around a little bit, and I love that.
Well, I've not moved much. I think the names have changed a little.
Well, your business card has moved around.
There we go.
Okay,
Fair enough.
Good. All right, you are watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network, coming to you from the Grand Hotel, and we're up here at the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce's annual policy conference. I'm Chris Holman. We'll be back with more.